107.5, The Game Podcasting, is sponsored by Modern Exterminating, a family-oriented company. Professional, honest, and dependable pest control solutions. We're your one-stop shop for all pests.
This isn't something that we're sitting here talking about, and when I say we, fans, media alike, you got to fix yourself. They're saying it. We must fix ourselves. What are they doing about it? You're practicing harder. You got to drill these things in. I come back to it, though, Terry, and I use it only as an illustration. Georgia went to a really hostile environment at Neyland Stadium the other day, and they won the football. I say the other day. It was a week and a half ago, I realized, but they won the football game. No false starts by the Georgia offensive line on the road. And, again, at Neyland, there's a lot of fans up there, whereas Carolina had at least 5 false starts at Missouri, and as Hale pointed out a little while ago, at least 2 of them were on 1st and 10, which immediately just sets you up, not for failure, but for that much more of a difficult task.
You're behind the sticks now. You're sitting at 1st and 15, and you're having trouble running the ball. And so that's different. So let's say you run the ball on 1st and 15, and you pick up, what 2 yards, a yard? Right. Now you're sitting at 2nd and really long, and you're one-dimensional.
Even if you pick up 7, you're at 2nd and 8.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, so, again, it's just that's.
For an offense that is struggling in success rate, putting you at 1st and 15 really cripples you. And this is a team, look, I think time of possession is a very overrated stat, because if I've only had the ball for 22 minutes, but the reason I only had it is because I keep scoring touchdowns on explosive plays.
Yeah, like Tennessee does.
Exactly.
Or like the old Bills.
Right. So, so I push aside time of possession. But when you are last in the conference in possessing the football and you're not being explosive on offense, that means that you're just kind of stay on the sideline. Your defense is on the field a ton because you can't get anything going on offense. And it's not like you're putting a lot of points on the board. So you're almost like double-edged sword whammying yourself all of a sudden. So there's something, and I think you make an excellent point of you got to fix you. Because if you can fix you, you got a pretty good football team. But you got some things here that need to get corrected.
If the things you did wrong aren't done, or at least even if you cut them by 2/3, because you're going to make mistakes, and it happens. Nobody's going to play a perfect game.
And it's not like you're going to
probably, I think I think you can beat Missouri, and you certainly have a better opportunity against Vanderbilt.
You go back. You could make it a 2-score game, Jay.
Yeah.
You had the chance to make it a 2-score game. Yeah. You blew a block. You didn't get rid of the ball. Now you're sacked. Then you get a penalty, and now you're kicking a field goal. And instead of getting up by 2 scores on a team in their house, you kind of kept them in the game in some ways with that whole foobar.
It only gets worse, it seems, now for the Florida Gators, who are off this weekend, but they will not be getting starting cornerback Dijon Johnson back this season. He is done for the year, injured his knee Saturday night against the Hurricanes, and had surgery yesterday. And unfortunately, he is done for the season. So we talked a lot about Florida yesterday, and that if they were going to make a move on Billy Napier, you would have probably done it if you were Scott Strickland Sunday or Monday, because you are off this week, and it could have immediately allowed the team to regroup with an interim head coach and then start preparing for what's in front of them after this off weekend. But they didn't. So for now, at least, they're sticking with him. Doesn't mean they believe in him, Terry, but then you get news like this, and I don't really see a way out. Look, there is a way out.
Sure, win.
And it's go win a bunch of football games. And maybe they can. I don't know. You look back at the LSU game, and I still can't tell if that tells me more about Florida or LSU. I think LSU's defense is a whole lot better this year, and DJ threw 5 picks, and yet LSU only scored 20 points, so maybe Florida can play some defense, but then Miami was a lot better than you last weekend, and you were better with the football. And really, after a while, it was funny. Josh Pate, I don't know if you saw Josh Pate's show, but he said the touchdown that they called back. He was like, that was the mercy rule. They were like, you've beaten them bad enough. Yeah. They're not going to win. Yeah. We're going to take that one off the board. And so I don't know where UF is right now.
And losing Johnson, he was a solid corner, hurts. But Lagway's been in a boot, walking around again. So is he injured? Has he ever been healthy? Who knows? I don't know.
I doubt it.
If your foot's in a boot or not. Still, the picks were just poor decisions and poor throws. They're just bad. Your offense, which you thought was going to be much better, and Lagway was almost like really saved your job last year, the way DJ Lagway played once he stepped in the starting lineup. Feels like Lagway's regressed. The entire offense has regressed. Once again, everybody's looking at Billy Napier. Why can't you just take your hands off the offense, bro?
And he's not going to. He had in his teleconference yesterday, he said, no, I'm a play caller. And I think he's like, look, you're paying me.
Right.
Part of my job description.
And look, if I'm going down, the Titanic's going down, I'm steering this thing.
He's the captain.
I'm not going to hand it off to somebody else. And I just think, again, why you're not moving on from him yet, and who hired him?